It may look cute and fluffy, but this game has balls. 2 balls, in fact. One of them's been taken away by a monster, and the other one's blue. I'm not kidding, that's the premise, and this is Adventures of Lolo for the Nintendo Entertainment System. As the title suggests, the star of the show is Lolo. He's hanging out with his carnation-colored companion Lala when, out of nowhere, a villainous beast known as the Great Devil suddenly appears and takes her away in a bubble. And that's when the adventures of Lolo, to which the title alludes, subsequently begin. Here's what's awesome about the story. It takes the game less than a minute to convey this information. I mean, most games did this back then. Instead of pretending the story mattered, the game just used it to set the stage for its tremendous gameplay. See, Adventures of Lolo knows it's good. It doesn't need to establish the Great Devil's motivation or develop Lolo's personality. He's a delightful little ball. Now go solve some puzzles. What's also important to know about Lolo is that housed within that bulbous round body is a bulbous round brain. You see, Lolo isn't much of a fighter. He can't fly or jump on enemies. Lolo's more of a thinker. He solves problems with brains instead of brawn, and in Adventures of Lolo, so will you. The game is basically a series of puzzles, 50 of them to be exact, and each one takes place on a single screen. Now, they're all laid out differently, but across all of the puzzles, the objective remains the same. By collecting all of the heart framers, you can open a treasure chest, which typically opens a door and ends the level. Of course, some hearts are right out in the open, but most require some serious thought to collect, and that's because the Great Devil has scattered his minions throughout the levels. Lolo can't really attack or defend himself, so your options for enemy engagement are pretty much limited to running. And figuring out the best way to collect the hearts and avoid enemies is what Adventures of Lolo is all about. Now, if you're a younger Nintendo fan, you could think of this game as the great-grandfather of modern puzzlers like Zack and Wiki. The puzzles are designed really well, they're clever, they're genuinely challenging, and as a result, they're tremendously rewarding to solve. Adventures of Lolo was developed by HAL Laboratory, the same studio which brought you another nondescript spherical hero, Nintendo's Kirby. In fact, Lolo and Lala actually appear in several Kirby games, but as villains named Lolo Lo and La La La, blah blah blah. The point is, this game was made by a great developer, and it shows. Adventures of Lolo looks good, and controls even better. This game marked the debut of the Lolo series in North America. There had already been several Eggerland games in Japan before they came to the States under the name Adventures of Lolo. So this series was pretty successful in the late 80s and early 90s, and this American debut definitely shows why. Now, granted, there is a bit of trial and error to the gameplay, and once you've beaten the game, there's really not much incentive to go back and re-solve the puzzles, but at least that first time through, it's addictive, it's genuinely clever, and for just a few dollars on the Wii's Virtual Console, it's an easy recommendation. So sharpen those puzzle-solving skills and test your gaming logic in the NES classic, Adventures of Lolo.